Outer Orange.
Today, we are going to discuss MICHU, as I think this is a very viable lyrical deck coming up. The Shooting Star set is coming out pretty soon, and I kind of want to go over with you guys kind of the streams of this deck and why you should consider looking into this deck, as it's actually performing pretty well, and we'll probably see a similar thing happen over here on the global side too. Alright, I've recently been making a lot of these videos, and I've actually been doing pretty well. I'm going to try and add a little bit more to this one, but this is basically MICHU. This is a second place winner from one of the VG Paradox's top decks for JP side, and this one performed pretty well. Obviously it was in the team event, but it still did pretty well, and I kind of wanted to break it down to you guys, what's making this deck tick, what's making it good. Long story short, this is a very good going first deck. It has a pretty explosive turn. It can kind of kill you before you get a chance to do much, and I think that's kind of where the stream set deck comes out. The main ride line stays the same. Also, just a little warning, you should definitely be playing the regular one over the Tuesday one, because which is the collapse sets, because Blackmire can take away her effects, and then you actually can't persona ride on top of this. So just be cautious of like which one you're running, but you only need one copy, thankfully, so not much to worry about. But the new stuff that we've got added is this new grade 1. She has just 2 effects. The first effect is when she's placed and all set up in your order zone, you can entry plus 3, look at top 7 cards of deck. She's up to 1 cannonball or reveal it to your hand. So she has a very good, simple first effect. Basically, she lets you find cannonballs, which is very important. Then she has a second effect. This is the most important part. When you have a great, if you have a great with MICHU in its card name, you can basically put this into soul, search for the other MICHU and ride it. You can't persona ride on the turn you rode, but then after that you can activate persona ride. This is very important because it basically gets you to the new grade 3 card right here, which is the new MICHU. This MICHU is very powerful alongside with the new Nakino. So let's go ahead and kind of break her down. Basically, when she rides on top of the old MICHU, you can search your deck or drop zone for 1 Nakino or Cannonball, reveal it, add to your hand. And if you search your deck, activate Persona. Basically, if you're going first, you can activate Persona. To activate Persona on the turn you didn't ride, keep in mind, so just keep cautious of that. And then because of the grade 1 effect, and then she also lets you bind a MICHU from soul to the choose way points rear guards retire it, which is really strong because the other one kind of you have to pick one or the other. This one lets you do it anyway, so you get the retire. And then the cost of this unit's Cannonball's abilities are reduced by 2 Sobas, so basically they're free. And the other turn, you basically ride to the other one. And then she has a Vanguard Cannonball effect that when she attacks a Vanguard, you can pay the cost of Sobas 2, choose by points, rear guards, retire it. And then during that battle, this unit gets plus 10k. So that's her regular play. And then you can also swap the Cannonball to the other one, which is usually going to be this one. And you'll usually be able to plus the 10k power and do all that. So you usually don't need to do retire, but you can. If you want to do the double retire, you can choose to. But ideally, you'll probably be swapping this Cannonball and doing this effect anyway, because this one's just pretty strong. You just Soul Blast and gives 10k to 3 units. This is pretty powerful since we have rear guards that drive check, so just something to keep in mind. But that's basically her effect. It's better than, you know, what the old one's doing, and it's just better in every single way. The fact that you don't have to run out of soul as fast, you don't have to soul charge as much with the all set up cards, just every way just better. But there is more to this deck that's making this deck a lot stronger than what it used to be, and it's this new grade 2 right here. If a cannonball is placed from your order zone to your drop zone, she gets 10k, so just 20k beater. Then she has a strong secondary effect that says basically once per turn, if you have a Vanguard with grade 3 or higher, by paying the cost, you can Carol Boss 1, Soul Boss 1 this unit gets on rear guard circle once you attacks. If you have not performed drive checks in the battle in which your rear guard attack this turn, this unit can perform drive checks. This is very powerful because it's not restricted to your opponent being on any grade. So you can just ride up and instantly start doing this. You have triple drive on basically your first ride, and that's really powerful because between her drive checking, your Vanguard giving power, that's going to be a very brutal turn because you're distributing 30k power from the Vanguard. She gets another additional 10k on top of that, and then you also have boosters and triple drive. That's something to worry about. Keep in mind the grade 1 is offline for this, but the grade 2 is not. The grade 1 is online when you're both on grade, when you're both you and your opponent are on grade 3. So just something to keep in mind. So long story short, big numbers, lots of heavy attacks, and triple drive. This deck does lack a couple issues. The main thing is the fact that if you draw into these cards and you don't have a target off of this effect, which is what all the winner decks tend to have a problem with, you will kind of lose on the spot. It's very brutal. The other end is that if you just don't see a single copy of this card, you will also be struggling, and that's just another thing to kind of keep in mind. There's another reason why this person here is running draws, and why they're also running this card to kind of help with that. There is a grade 3 that'll be coming out in this set that can help you fix this problem. She will let you bottom deck your grade 3 so you can send it back. There is also an old card that already exists as a grade 1 that can also Soul Blast retire itself and then send back to normal use the deck and shuffle. So you do have ways around that issue if you feel it's too much of a problem, or if you feel like you can't handle, you know, losing all your personas. So there's something I keep in mind as you're playing the deck. And yeah, long story short, I think this deck is very powerful. It's one of those decks where you kind of have to see it in action to understand why it's strong. This is the very most steam-wide build I've seen. I actually think in terms of just a raw dog steam-wide build, this is probably the best approach to go to. You can cut back to Nakinos to add in the grade 3 here. haired girl, the new one that's coming out in the new set, but you don't need her to play the deck like this. You can honestly just take this exact list and just you'll perform well with it, because this is basically the cookie cutter list. It's a really well done cookie cutter list, and it just does the job exactly what you want to. You can realistically want a White Wing engine since you do bind your grade 3 in main phase, but that's definitely more like a high roll kind of gimmicky fun kind of approach, but just something else you can kind of do. I thought I'd add that in. All right, so I wanted to quickly give you guys kind of like a board state situation here, basically what we got going on here. So this is probably ideal setup, and you'll notice my hand is kind of small, but we'll recover because we'll be able to get these 2 cards back to hand, and we'll also be able to, you know, have a triple drive here as well. But basically this is the setup that you want. The double Yuko really helps with this, and ideally you can just basically swing this way, boosted. Or actually you can honestly hold on to it. You could just go Van, activate the ability of the Cannonball. I already dropped it on accident, but basically you can then do the Soul Blast 2, which we don't have to do anymore. Basically give 10k to some dudes, so we can give 10k here, 10k here, and basically 10k here. Ideally you want to put on Nakino, but since we are not swapping her, since this is our first grade 3 right, we can't do it. But anyway, so we're gonna go drive check 1, drive check 2. I run fronts over draws personally, and then basically this column is done, and then you would swing with this side for another singular drive. This time we'll be Soul Blasting out. We'll probably Soul Blast out, I don't know what we're going to Soul Blast out. We'll probably Soul Blast a copy of the Persona here, and then you just swing on in for 1 drive check, and then use another ability to Soul Blast again, bounce her back to hand with Yuika, and then swing here for your final check, and then again Soul Blast out another unit and bounce it back to hand. Ideally you actually want to be Soul Blasting out the Nakinos, because then you can bring it back to your hand. But anyway, that's basically the turn. You notice the numbers were very huge, and that was you know, triple drive. And then next turn and you also just rewrite back. You go back to your bind. So I bound her. You would ride back into her, rested, and there you go. That'd be like ideally your first ride up turn, and then hopefully you find another grade 1 and just kind of loop it. Keep in mind you can use her main effect first, and then, you know, start going through. So take some damage here if we really want to. Gain some power. So we have a little bit of defense. I would probably even go all the way to 5 here. Apparently we heal, so let's go again with more power. You can probably block with ease, to be honest here. I don't think you have to worry about anything, and then you just ride up and just do it all over again. So we're actually going to use her main effect, draw, call a card. Then we'll grab a Cannonball and draw, and counter charge. And then also we could play a Cannonball with the all set up, Soul Charge 1. We Soul Charge the grade 1 and a draw card. And then you could just keep going. Now notice that since we don't have the grade 1, this deck instantly falls off. And I wanted to actually purposely showcase that as well. So when you don't have the grade 1 in hand, you are struggling. And if you don't have Persona in hand, you're struggling too. Granted, I did actually discard some Personas early on, so that's definitely on me. I probably could have kept those, because you could just, you know, if I had one of these in hand and say like I just didn't have this instead, I could then just activate Persona automatically and just instantly get all my effects, right? So that's just another thing to keep in mind. But I wanted to show you guys that, just so you guys kind of understood sort of how this deck's performing, and this is sort of what the order zone would be looking like. Keep in mind you can use the all setup effect to play these cards, and you can actually then play them normally and counterblast and do their effects normally as well. So you can play 2 orders a turn. So just something else to keep in mind as you're playing this deck, so you can do that too. Oh yeah, just something to keep in mind. You can kind of keep going. They do draw you cards if you put them into the order zone on grade 2 as well. So yeah, you can just keep drawing and then just kind of go for game. And this turn we'll have the four drives, so something to keep in mind. Alright, so that's basically all I have for this video. Hope it was informative to you. Hope the CFA stuff was supportive as I showcase kind of what the deck is capable of. Other than that, guys, peace out. Please like, subscribe, comment if you found this useful. I am trying to get to 5k. We're getting pretty close, but hopefully we can reach there by the end of the year. It will help a lot. There's like 66% of you guys that just aren't subs, so, you know, join in on the fun side, join the Peels crew. But in that, guys, video cards at shop, OuterOrange if you need your goodies. The PC is right around the corner. We got buy card challenges right around the corner, shop challenges, etc. There's so much going on. You're probably gonna need some cards, so video cards at shop for all those goodies. There's also other stuff as well, like sleeves and oversleeves and etc. and other card games as well that you can also invest into if whatever you need. And you can use my code ORANGE to save yourself some money. So other than that, guys, peace out. That's Vidania. See you guys in a future video. Bye.